Hi friends, good day. Today, as I told you, with this problem I will be completing statement of P&L account. Most of the problems are based on statement of P&L accounts only, but very few problems, only one problem I think you are having about balance sheet. So most of the problems are based on P&L account. Having said, after completion of my balance sheet, one problem I will be taking after completion of this class. Maybe this class and next class I will be able to finish off the bank accounts. Then you have to practice from your study material problems so that it will be useful, but the models which is there in the study material also has been covered. Right, now coming back to this RTP M19, from the following information, Wealth Bank Limited prepare P&L account for the year ended 31st March 18. Interest on cash credit, you know that where it goes, schedule 13, no? Interest on overdraft, schedule 13, income, interest on term loans and income on investment, they all comes under schedule 13. And interest on balances with RBI also will go to schedule 13. Okay. Commission and remittances 14. Commission on letter of credit 14. Commission on government business, any commission 14. This is the other income. Profit on sale of land and building 14. Loss on exchange, you have to deduct same, schedule 14. Interest paid on fixed deposit, schedule 15. Interest paid on recurring deposit, schedule 15. Interest paid on savings deposit 15. Auditors fees 16. Directors allowance 16. Advertisement 16. Salaries allowances 16. Payment to provident fund is coming under payment to and provision for employees, so therefore it is 16. These two is to be added as payment to and provisions for employees. Okay, printing and stationery 16. Repairs and maintenance 16. Postage and telegrams etc. telephones schedule 16. Okay, then next, this is important. Income recognition is included here. Interest on NPA is as follows: cash credit 164 earned, collected, we shall collect 80, no? Term loans also we shall collect, we shall take 20. Overdraft we shall take 50. But try to understand, this amount 164 cash credit is included here. So 364 is including 164. You know that from 364 you shall deduct 164 because we won't be considering interest earned, it is interest realized on cash credit. So 80 is to be added. Alternatively, or we can do one thing, 364, 164 is included, no? It is to be subtracted, 80 is to be added. 164 minus 80, 84. 84 we can subtract. You will be getting same amount, you can see if you want. I'll repeat once again. This earned is 164, no? Out of 164, how much has been collected? 80 has been collected, no? 164 minus 80, it means how much excess it is showing? 84. Because interest earned on cash credit is 364, is including interest earned non-performing asset. But how much interest has been actually collected? 80. But they have created to that account 164. So how much has been actually collected? 80. That means excess amount we can deduct. So 364 minus 84, you will be getting 364 minus 84, you will be getting 280. Or you can do like this: 364 deduct 164, correct. Whichever is convenient you can do it. 164 is including 364, I am deducting, and cash collected is added. You will be getting the same amount. If you want, you can check. 364 minus 164 plus 80, you will be getting 280, no? So either you can take the difference and that subtract 90 minus 20, 70 subtract, 150 minus 50, 100 subtract, because 150 is as actually overdraft has been considered. Interest on overdraft 150 is total amount is earned, but how much has been collected? 50. So how much is not collected? 100. That is to be deducted. Similarly, term loans you can see interest on term loan 308. This 308 is including 90, no? But how much actually has been collected? 20 means how much excess it has been created? 70 is to be subtracted. Or else I told you, as far as interest on overdraft is concerned, 150, you deduct 150, add 50, you will be getting 50. So is the case of term loans. Term loans 308, you need to deduct 90, you need to add 20. You can do either of the way, right? So this is an important adjustment, is income recognition we have learned in our one of our earlier chapters. I think chapter 4, unit 4, classification of non-performing assets, standard assets. You know, for standard assets, we need to calculate 0.4%. This we have learned number of times, problems we have worked out. I think I need not tell you again. Substandard assets fully secured, 15%. Doubtful assets fully unsecured, it is coming to 100%. This is for calculation of provision. Substandard assets, standard assets 0.40. Unless commercial, agriculture, that those points we have discussed. Okay, real estate, commercial, residential, those things, those points we have learned. Other than that, 0.4% we have learned it. So 0.4%. I think you all are aware of this income recognition. And term loans, it is clear, no? We have to consider NPA. Cash credits 12, bills purchased and discounted 20, no? Performing assets 120, non-performing asset 5. Earned and received. I think these things we have learned already. Performing assets, standard, non-performing. Small, medium exchange, small and micro enterprise 0.25%, advanced to commercial real estate 1%, advanced to commercial real estate, housing sector 0.75%, housing loans 2%, and these things we have learned as all other loans and advances not includable 0.40%. Clear? That we have learned already. Okay, now substandard secured exposures 15, unsecured 25. Doubtful assets, you can see that the problem. Just a minute. Yeah. Doubtful assets, fully unsecured. Unsecured portion 100%. You can see this is what has been done. Substandard assets fully secured 15%, doubtful assets fully unsecured 100%. Doubtful debts covered by fully security of less than 1 year 25, 1 to 3 years 40, more than 3 years 100, loss advances 100. That you can see here now. Less than 1 year 25%. Up to 3 years 40%. More than 3 years 100%. Loss assets 100%. And transfer 25% to statutory reserve. This is under section 17. I told you at least 20% that has been given in our material. I think if I'm not wrong, it is in unit 2, I think. Unit 1 or unit 2, just a minute. Every banking company incorporated in India is required to create reserve fund and to transfer at least 20% of its at least year's use. Okay, and the profit of the year as profit and loss account prepared under section 20 is to be taken as base for the purpose of such transfer to reserve fund should be made before declaration of any dividend. If any bank makes any appropriation from the reserve fund, it is to respect Reserve Bank of India the reason for such appropriation within 25 days. He is saying that every bank company incorporated in India is required to create reserve fund and to transfer at least 25% of the reserve fund. Okay. So, what is that we should understand? At least 20%. But in the problem, it has been given this transfer 25% of profit to reserves means under section 17 out of current year profits. So, what I am doing, I am going as per instruction that is given in the problem. If nothing is mentioned, a percentage of transfer is not mentioned, you can take transfer to reserve as 20%. Under section 17, out of current year profit, this is profit transfer reserve under section 17 out of current year profit. If percentage of transfer is not mentioned, transfer to reserve as 20%. This I have told you already just now. Every banking company incorporated in India is required to create reserve fund and to transfer at least 20% of its profit to reserve fund. Clear? Next. So this point also I explained. And profit in provision, provide 35% of profit towards provision of taxation. Last class we have learned that in couple of classes back. First you should total 13 schedule, 14 schedule, total minus 15 minus 16 minus provisions and contingencies before taxation, and on that you have to calculate 35% profit. Okay. So we'll take up this problem now. Problem number RTP M19 118. RTP M19 page number 118. Okay, first we have to go for working notes, no? But before I go to working notes, before I go to the solution, first page I told you, always we should leave one page for first let me complete the schedules, then I can come back to provision for taxation. You can do working notes either at the beginning or working notes at the end. So what I do, schedule 13, interest earned, schedule 13 interest earned, interest and discount, just a minute my dear friends, some technical issue, 1 minute. Interest slash discount on advances and bills. Now, if you look at the problem here, he has been given in lakhs. Himself has given amount in lakhs. So here amount in lakhs. Interest, discount, advances and bills. In this we are having various headings. Interest on cash credit, I have told you already. Whichever is convenient you can do it. First I am writing 364. If it is easy to remember with the way which you want, you can work out. I told you interest on cash credit 364 minus 164 is included, but only to be collected, cash collected, no. 164 you deduct, 80 you can add, or earn 164 out of which 80 has been collected. What is the amount that is not been collected? 84 is to be subtracted. Whichever is convenient you can do. I am going by this one, easy I think. Deduct 164, add 80. Deduct 164, add 80. 364 minus 164. Why 164 I am writing? On NPA, non-performing assets. Interest earned won't be considered. Interest received is to be considered. 364 is based on interest earned. From that I am deducting interest earned on NPA and I am adding cash received on NPA. Okay, clear? So it is coming to 280 you are getting. So is the case of interest on term loans, 308. On interest on term loans also we got 90 earned, deduct 90 and add 20. 308 minus 90 plus 20. It is coming to 238. Next, interest on overdraft. Interest on overdraft. How much we got here? 150. Out of 150, I must deduct 150, add 150. 150 minus 150 is earned, no? But on NPA 150 is earned. Unearned won't be taken, only cash receipt is taken. It is 50. It is coming to 50. Okay, 280 plus 238 plus 50. It is coming to 568. I am continuing this. Then we also got some interest on investments. 168 Interest on investment 168. Next, interest on balances with RBI. $30. 568 plus 168 plus 30. It is coming to 766. This is schedule 13. Next, schedule 14, other income. Schedule 14, other income. Commission, exchange and brokerage. Commission, comma, exchange and brokerage. In this amount in lakhs. We got different commissions here. Commission on remittances, commission on letter of credit, commission on government business. For doing this, you got income. So these three is to be taken. First, let me start with commission on remittances and transfer 15. Commission on remittances and transfer 15. Then commission on letter of credit is 24. Then commission on government business is 16. Total 55 lakhs. Then we also got two more things. Profit on sale of land and building 5 is to be added. Loss on exchange transactions to be subtracted. Profit on sale of land and building 5. Loss on exchange transactions 10. 60 minus 10, it is coming to 50 is the total. Next, schedule 15, interest expended. Schedule 15, interest expended. In this, interest on deposits, we are having variety of deposits. You can see here. Interest paid on fixed deposit 25. Next, recurring deposit 17, savings deposit 12. Recurring deposit 17. Saving bank deposit 12. So 25 plus 7, 12 plus 2, 14. 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 54 is the total. Next comes Schedule 16 operating expenses. Schedule 16 operating expenses. In that, payment to, I think you all are familiar with the format by this time. Payment to provision for employees. In this, I have told you we are having two items: salaries, allowances, bonus to employees, and payment to provident fund. This we can write like this: inner column, salaries, comma, allowance, and bonus 248. Then provident fund contribution, provident fund contribution 56. So 248 plus 56, 304. Then PRP, add Alprio, I have told you. R means rent. We don't have any rent here. PRP, after that printing and stationery 28. Just for remember, I told you PRP, add Alprio. I think you remember that. Even if you don't remember also, no issue. By practice you can able to do it. Printing and stationery 28. Then comes PRP, Alprio, advertisement and publicity. Advertisement 36. Advertisement 36. Okay, after advertisement, PRP, ad. Ad, we are start with advertising, no? Then depreciation, no? Next one. We don't have depreciation in this problem. If you want, you can see. We don't have any depreciation on 16. Then PRP, add. Depreciation is not there. But we got director's fees, allowances, no? Somewhere we got director's fees, allowances 50. Or you can write total, then you can insert. If there is no item, you can write as a nil. This I have already told you. Director's fees and allowance. Director's fees and allowance 50. Then I told you PRP, add. Depreciation is come to director. Then audit fees is also come PRP. Then we are having audit fees, I think, in this problem. All Prio starting with audit fees. I think we are having in this problem all audit fees and allowance 24. Next, after that we are having law charges. I think in this problem we don't have any law charges. All Prio, we don't have any law charges. Then after that, postage, telegram, telephones. Postage, courier and telephone 16. Postage, once upon a time we used to have telegraph. Telegraph has been done taken away. So even the format still telegraph is there, but that is why problem has been updated as courier. Postage, courier, and telephone. $16. Then repairs and maintenance. We got that also. Repairs and maintenance 10. We can go for total of it. 304 plus 28 plus 36 plus 50 plus 24 plus 16 plus 10. It is coming to 468. Now let me take you to the heading we have to write now. What is the heading we are having? The name of the bank, Wealth Bank Limited. Just a minute. Wealth Bank Limited. Profit and the peculiar thing is heading is we write profit and loss account only, even it is in the form of statement. But when it comes to company, we write statement of P&L account. Just for information, I'm giving. For the remaining 31st March 18. Okay, and I think you know the format of it. Just a minute. Just a minute, my dear friends. Okay. Particulars, schedule, schedule, year ended 31st March 18, current year ending only, rupees in lakhs, rupees in lakhs. Okay, Roman 1 income, you all are aware of it. Income in this interest earned, schedule 13, other income schedule 14, then we'll be writing total. Then I will insert the values later on. Expenditure, interest expended, interest expended, schedule 15, operating expenses 16, operating expense 16, provision and contingencies. We'll be doing that working notes. Then we'll be having total here. Then 3, profit oblique loss, net profit or loss we write, for the year 1 minus 2, because for you to understand in the examination no need to write 1 minus 2. Net profit, in this problem you have seen there is no brought forward, but format wise we should write net profit oblique loss brought forward. Brought forward. Fourth one is appropriations. Transfer to statutory reserve. As per the instruction we are going it. If this 25% is not given, we could have gone for 20%. 25% of the profits. Okay, then we'll come back to this later on. So what I can do now, I can insert the values whatever I'm having here so far. 13, 7, 766, 14, 50. 766 and 50. and 50. It is coming to 816. This provisions and contingents I have to calculate, but I got 15 and 16 schedule values. $15.54, no? 54, 16, 468. $468. Now, working notes. Provisions and contingencies. Provisions and contingencies. Just a minute, I think page number 118, no? Okay, provisions and contingencies. I have to calculate on provision for advances, standard and non-performing assets. Actually, the classification of non-performing advances, standard means standard non-performing assets classified into, we have learned that substandard, doubtful, loss asset, these things we have learned it, no? So I'm not going to explain that. So let me go to first standard. I told you 0.4%. Working notes, provisions and contingencies. In this, provision for advances. In this standard, 60 into 0.40. We got it now, 60 here. 60 into 0.40. We are getting 60 into 0.4, 0.24 lakhs. Then after that, substandard we are having 15% on 22. Into 15%. It is coming to 33. Next, doubtful assets fully unsecured 100%. I told you. Doubtful assets fully unsecured. Doubtful assets not covered by security. 40 into 100%, 40. Then next, doubtful assets covered fully by security, fully covered by security less than 1 year 6 into 25%, more than 1 year 3 into 40%, more than 3 years 2 into 100, loss assets 38 into 100. Think you all are aware of it, just we keep on writing this now. Less than 1 year, 6 into 25%, 1.5. Next, more than 1 year, less than 3 years, 3 into 40%, 1.2. Next, more than 3. I told you it is 100%. 2. The next one, loss assets. You have to calculate 100%, no? $38. Now we can go for totaling of it. .24 plus 33 plus 40 plus 1.5 plus 1.2 plus 2 plus So here I have done mistake. 22 into 15% is 3.3. Okay, sorry. 0.24 plus 3.3 plus 40 plus 1.5 plus 2 plus 38. It is coming to 85.04. Somewhere I'm getting difference. Just a minute. Take the calculator. You also can try this. Totaling of it. You're getting 86.24. So then we need to calculate provision for taxation. Provide 35% profit towards provision for taxation. %35%. That is total income minus total expenditure provisions and contingencies excluding tax provision. So we got already total income. $868 total expenditure excluding provision $54 plus $468 just a minute. Total income minus total expenditure 54 plus 468 plus 86.24. So then you will be getting 816 minus 54 minus 468 816. You deduct 54 plus 54 minus 468 minus 86.24. To calculate the provision for income tax, I need net profit before taxation. Simple words, that is what I am doing. So you are getting 207.76. So 35% of 207.76. It is coming to 72.716 means 72.72 I am taking. So now 86.24 plus 72.72, it is coming to 158.96 is total of provisions and contingencies. Okay, total of provisions and contingencies. And 58.96. Now you can go for it total. 680.96. Now I told you total 1 minus total 2 is equal to current year profit, no? That is 816 minus 680 point, you're getting 135.404. And you know that you don't have any sort of the previous year profit. We have seen in the problem, no, there's no previous year profit. Only says that transfer 25% of profit to statutory reserve. I told you at least 20%, but we are going by instruction given the problem. If this 25% is not given, you can take 20% on current year profit, 20% will go to statutory reserve. So net profit brought forward is nil. So 135.04. Appropriations 25% of the profit. Into 20, 33.76. And this Roman 3 total I am writing 135.4. From that, if you deduct this 33.76, you are getting 101 point. This is what is called as balance carried to balance sheet. Balance carried to balance sheet. Okay, this is what about your problem of statement of P&L account. Clear to all of you? So this is how we have to work out. So I think we have done almost all the models. My intention is of any chapter, after completion of the lecturing, you should be able to work out any problem from any material. Maybe interpretation of the sentence or that particular provision maybe sometimes may give you some doubt, but I think that is genuine, that is common. The doubt has to be there. Without doubt, if you get it out in the examination hall, who is going to help you out? So this is almost all the models I have covered, and if you practice any examination purpose, you should be comfortable. You can start doing it. So then what I am going to take today is that, just a minute. I'll be taking you to today's class balance sheet. Okay, today's class I'll be taking you to balance sheet. Format of balance sheet. Just a minute, let me see the page number. Form A balance sheet. Form B statement of profit and loss account. We have done whatever so far we have learned. Page number 102. And this balance sheet you should practice. You can easily work out this balance sheet. There will not be any issue. Just have a glance at the balance sheet before I start explaining. This balance sheet I have explained once before starting the in unit 2. We have seen the format of balance sheet. Am I right? Format of P&L account, we have seen format of balance sheet. Okay. So when you look at the balance sheet here, capital schedule 1, this is current year, previous year. Of course, in the examination you don't have any previous year. Reserves and surplus schedule 2, deposit schedule 3, borrowing schedule 4, other liabilities. These are all the liabilities of the bank. Capital, reserves and surplus. I think you all are aware of capital, reserves and surplus. Only the new thing is deposits, borrowings. Other liabilities and provisions. What are the provisions which are having double adjustment, like provision for bad debts, provision for taxation? They comes under this category. Okay. And so capital, reserves and surplus, deposits, borrowings, other liabilities. If you write this format, then later on, like we say schedule 1 detailed information, schedule 2 detail 3, 4, 5, we can give it. This is total. And we start with cash and balances with Reserve Bank of India, balance with banks. The heading is big lengthy. Cash and balances with Reserve Bank of India. Cash and balances with Reserve Bank of India. Followed by money at call and short notice. Money at call and short notice means you can convert the amount, you can get the cash within a short span of time. Then we will be having investments, advances 9, fixed assets 10, other assets 11. Then comes actually here I want to make a small correction. This okay, 6 is cash and balances with RBI, then balance with banks, money at call and short notice, I investment. For simple words you can read C B I CBI. You can easily remember. Cash and balances with RBI, balance with banks, money at call, short notice, I investment, A advances, AFO, F fixed assets, O other assets. Contingent liabilities footnote, we don't go for totaling of it. Then bills for collection. So let us go in a detailed manner. Authorized, issued, subscribed, called up and paid up. This is what you learned in company account. Same concept we go by it. Reserves and surplus, statutory reserve. Like under section 17 I told you opening balance means previous year balances, additions during the year, deductions during the year means any statutory reserve that has been used. Capital reserve, capital reserve other than revenue which is having long term not revenue nature. Opening balance, add additions during the year, less deductions during the year. Share premium, these things you have learned in company accounts. Opening balance, addition, deductions. If you have used share premium. Revenue and other reserves, Revenue and other reserves means other than capital reserve, opening balance, additions during the year, deductions during the year. Schedule 3 deposits, demand deposits from banks. Demand deposits means somebody's money is with us, and somebody's money means here, somebody's money means is here liability. Deposit is the liability. What do you mean by this? Come on, think of it. When customers are depositing, money with us, we can say that demand deposits from banks, that is repayable after certain time. This is whenever they ask you, you need to make a payment. Other banks have deposited money in our account, in our bank account. Whenever demand means whenever they call for it, we need to make a payment. So that is why it is called as demand deposits. From others means like fixed deposit, recurring deposit, current account, savings account. These all comes under the category of other than savings bank deposit. Fixed deposit, recurring deposit, staff deposit, NRI deposit. This is what is called as from others. Savings bank, you all are aware. Term deposits, term wise, I think here from others we can take recurring deposit, staff deposit, and NRI deposit. Next, term deposits, it is fixed deposit from banks, other banks, from others. That means others means customers. Whenever they call for it, you should be able to make a payment. Deposits. Next, deposit of branches in India, deposit of branches outside India. The branch which is having their operation in India, they might have deposited in our bank. Or the customers, a deposit of branches outside India means outside India are having branch, they have deposited money into our account. When they have deposited money into our account, whenever amount is due, we need to make a payment. Then borrowings from Reserve Bank of India, other banks, other institutions, agencies. Schedule 5, other current liabilities, bills payable. Inter-office adjustment means like there will be some mutual transfers between one bank and other bank. If it is showing credit balance, I need to make a payment. If that account inter-office adjustment shows net balance, amount is due from them. Interest accrued, I think you all are aware of it. Others including provision for taxation, etc. Schedule 6, cash and balance with RBI. Just a minute. Cash in hand, this is asset now. Cash in hand including foreign currency, balances with the Reserve Bank of India. Our money is with the Reserve Bank of India in current accounts or in other current accounts. Balances with banks and money at call and short notice. Balances with banks, other banks, in current accounts, in other deposit accounts. Money at call and short notice. When our bank is making, and the banks has to clear off the amount which is with them. This is what is called as money at call and short notice. Clear? Money at call and short notice. Then with banks and with other institutions. Simple words, I will give you an example. Include deposits repayable within 15 days or less than 15 days notice. So money at call means 15 days time we are giving. Our money is with them. We are asking them to arrange the money and make a payment to us. Then this schedule 7 in India, outside India, same. In India means in other banks, our deposits with other banks. In India and outside India, we are in assets, no? Our balances with banks and money at call and short note. These all are to be received. That is why we are showing in schedule 7. Investments in India, outside India. Government securities, other approved securities, shares, debentures, subsidiaries, etc. Advances, 3 categories. bills purchased and discounted, cash credits, overdraft, term loans. Each item we have done in subunits. Bills purchased, discounted, cash credits, overdraft, loans payable, advances, no term loans, housing loan, what are the loans you are giving, business loan, etc. comes under scheduled advances. And these advances secured by tangible assets are covered by bank or government guarantee unsecured. Please remember, always these two totals should be equal. Always A and B total should be equal. In advances. Okay. I told you A and B total should be equal. Next, advances. These advances in India, either in priority sector, public sector, banks, to whom you have given. This is just disclosure. Advances outside India, due from banks, due from others. Bills purchased and discount syndicated loans, others. No need to worry about it, just you have to focus on this. You can expect a short marks question on advances, schedule 9. Watch out this. You can expect a short question. Schedule 10, fixed assets. So cost minus provision for depreciation, accumulated depreciation. If current year depreciation is not provided, it is to be added to accumulated depreciation, and from that cost price minus add additions, deductions means any payment, etc. Depreciation to date, you will be getting closing book value. So is the case of other fixed assets. 11, other assets I have just now told you. Inter-office adjustments net. If it is showing debit balance, amount is due from other branches. Interest accrued, receivable for us, it's an asset. Tax paid in advance, like prepaid tax, advance, stationery and stamps, non-banking assets acquired in satisfaction of claims, others. And contingent liability allowed in foundation, claims against business not acknowledged as debts. Now we are writing claims against the bank not acknowledged by bank as debts. Liability for partially paid investment, partly you have purchased some shares at debentures. They have called 6 rupees, 4 rupees you need to pay. This is what is called, when they call it becomes liability. Till then contingent liability. Liability on account of outstanding forward exchange contracts. Forward exchange, this you will be learning later on. For the time being, just remember, at next level you will be learning again big chapter, that is guarantees given on behalf of constituents in India, outside India, acceptances, endorsement and other obligations, and then other items for which the bank is contingently liable. This is all about your balance sheet format. So please mug up this. It's practice. You don't have many number of problems past examination on balance sheet. Having said, be thorough with this. Schedule 1, capital 1, reserves and surplus 2, deposit 3, borrowings 4, other liabilities and provision 5, cash and balances with RBI 6, balance with banks and money at call and short notice 7, investments 8, advances 9, fixed deposit 10, other assets 11. Contingent liability 12, bills for collection. As I told you, we will be, whatever the bills that has been sent, we will be writing a note, not schedule, no schedule, simply we write the bills for collection amount total, but that also won't be added to balance sheet. Okay, this is the format. So we'll meet in the next class. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. God bless you all.